Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast. The RIP 28 podcast. This is a podcast where a few friends can get together and we can talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we're going to keep on talking about them on the RIP 28 podcast. Today, I am your humble host. I am Sly the Sports Guy, and I'm joined by some of my good friends. We're going to start off in the top left. The educator's educator. What's going on, LBZ?
What's going on? It's BZ the Great, the educator's educator. Just here to educate you on a few things today. Let's get it started.
We're going to go on the other side. The other side, he's nothing but a local hero. He's your local hero. What's going on, J.A.?
Oh, yeah, you know the neighborhood good guy. I'm here to talk to y'all today. Let's get it in.
All right. We got a special guest today. A special guest. You know, sometimes on the RIP 28 podcast, we bring out people, and we like to bring out people who, you know, they something like a big deal. So we're going to bring out the one and only, the owner of Carolina Pressure and Soft Washing. Go ahead, put that hat up there. Show us the logo. A little bit of self-branding. There it is.
I got it. There it is.
There it is right there. The owner of Carolina Pressure and Soft Washing, and also a fire chief. I'm talking about a real live fire chief. The one and only Mr. Thomas Niles Sr. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm all right. How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all having me. Like you said before, I'm something like a big deal. Almost there. Pretty close to it.
He getting close. He getting there. Now that he's on the RIP 28 podcast, his stock is going up. His stock is going up, man. You know, what you about to say over there?
I was just about to say, it kind of balances out since he's I won't say it. I won't say it now. I won't say it. We're going to keep the show moving. We're glad you're here, brother. But on a serious note, man, we appreciate you being here, brother, taking your time out your busy schedule to hang out with me, Sly, and Uncle Curtis over there. So we appreciate you, brother.
Thank y'all for having me. I know why it balances out. You need the sound rock to bring the show up.
Oh, man, go ahead, man.
We always got to have losers on.
Hey, you gotta have somebody that has been on the other end of that capital punishment, so we brought you on.
That's what it is. I appreciate it.
Ain't nothing good ever came off of Monticello Road down there at Eau Claire High School. I can't think of nothing good ever came from over there, man. You know, it's funny, man. We joke, for those who don't know, you know, most of us on the RIP 28 podcast, we went to Columbia High School in Columbia, South Carolina, and one of our main rivals was Eau Claire High School. And that's where old Thomas came from. So we let him on the show, man. Even though we'll take his shortcomings, it wasn't his fault. That's just where he lived at. He couldn't help.
And I thought he couldn't come across the river.
Nah, yeah, it ain't our fault he couldn't come across that river. But you know what, though, man? It's funny, man. We sitting up here talking about school and talking about schooling, man. You know, the semester kind of just started back for most of the kids. And, you know, myself, I live in Atlanta, and my kid, he's doing this hybrid school with this virtual learning, man. I ain't gonna lie, man, it's driving me crazy, man. I'm like, damn, I thought I was smart, man, trying to keep up with all this stuff on the computer. I don't see how he do it, man. I couldn't sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day trying to learn something on that computer, man. How y'all kids doing with that? Well, let's start up Niles, man. We're gonna get to you last, LBZ. How your kids doing with that?
Actually, my daughter's doing pretty good. She's actually making straight A's.
But wait a minute, you gotta make straight A's though. That's what I'm telling my son. You cannot make straight A's.
She's making straight A's, man. She's a sophomore. I thought it would be hard for her. She actually liked it better than we thought she would.
Okay.
I agree with you. I don't see how she can do it, but every time you look, she got a project. She showed me a couple of times some of her work and asked me for help, and I just laughed like, baby, you gotta call one of your siblings. Daddy don't know that no more. But she's doing pretty good with it.
Okay. Well, look now, James, you got two of your baby's still in your baby's still in nursery, but you got two of them in school, two
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, man. Yeah. my middle baby, she doing real good. She like Thomas, she doing straight A's. The older one, you just got to stay on them, man. You got to stay on them. Jesus, I'm getting all kind of gray hairs, man. This thing it's tough, man. I can't wait for him to go back to school.
But you know what, though? I'm tripping, though. But I sit up there and tell my son, man, I'm like, bruh, it's no way you can't make straight A's. I don't know if I should be impressed. Like, you make straight A's.
Yeah, because you got everything right there.
Yeah. And all you got to do is, if you really need to cheat, all you need to do is turn the camera off and go and Google your answer.
That's it. It shouldn't be no problems, man.
Yeah. But now, LBZ, now you coming from a different direction. Now you actually a teacher. You know, how is it for you being a teacher with all this virtual school?
The same as it is for these parents on the panel. It's frustrating. The technology comes in, it fails at times. The kids are very inconsistent with getting on because you can't do much to them. But if they're not getting on, like you say, they just cut their screen off and they can do what they want to do. So it's been tough, man. It's been a big adjustment, but it's just the world we in now. We're adapting to the new norm.
Yeah, I guess that is the new norm, man. New norm. My thing is, though, I wonder, is this really going to be the way of the future, man? Because when you look at certain, I was reading something about some of the school districts that have gone completely online is actually saving a lot of money for the school districts. Because, you don't have, if ain't nobody in the building, your electricity bill shouldn't be that high. You ain't buying cafeteria food. You ain't buying food in the cafeteria, so you cutting on a couple of bills here and there, man. Y'all think y'all can have this as the new norm?
Well, for that cafeteria, they are still. I know in my district, they're still feeding the kids.
Okay.
Each kid is still getting meals. They're still getting 3 meals a day. Because they're still bringing the cafeteria workers in, which is keeping them employed. So they're doing the 3 meals a day, and I don't know if we can do the new norm. I don't know. I think the kids are going to fall far behind. Where some kids are self-motivated and have parents there to push them, but then you have to think about those that are not coming from the homes where they have that constant support. So what do you do with them? Do they just fall through the cracks? And when it becomes state testing time, it's going to reflect that, because you still have to show that data, those standards are being met, the objectives are being met. And I don't know how it's going to work. If it's going to be easy and feasible for everybody.
Okay. Man, what y'all think? You think they can keep this up as a parent?
I agree with what LeBron just said. I think there are some kids who are doing great with it, but you got to think some kids need that one-on-one, that interaction with the teachers.
Yes, sir.
Because just like you said, our kids are doing good, straight A's. There are kids who need that attention. They need someone to tell them to keep doing it. Some kids are gonna fall behind. They're not gonna do what they're supposed to do. I mean, but thank God we have kids who focus. But a lot of kids don't do this. Then on the other hand, you're talking about lunch. You got to think a lot of kids don't eat till they go to school.
Yeah,
right.
That's a big deal. So in lower income areas, there are a lot of kids who need school to eat. Just the interaction with people. So hopefully this isn't the new norm. If so, we're gonna have to adapt and overcome. But hopefully a change is coming soon.
My question is, I know in the beginning they were talking about like having a bus come around and be like a hot spot or something like that. But now, I mean, I know they don't have it in my neighborhood, but like for more the lower income areas, that people that don't have Wi-Fi, what are they doing for the kids like that?
I can answer that for you. They have each individual school. They have we have what they call the hot spots.
Yeah.
The portable hot spots where they can come and get it. All you have to do is fill out a sheet. That's all you have to do is fill out a form. and you can come and get that extra, get that Wi-Fi.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good.
I was wondering how that would happen.
Yeah.
So what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I
And
said,
to
so
Thomas,
how that work for the people down in the country? You know, they ain't got no signal.
that's what the hotspot is for.
Okay.
It
But
helps with that,
what if
generating
you
signal.
too far out though? You know what I'm saying? Cause like where my grandmama in Ruffin, it's only like 2 cell phones that work. You know, you got I think Verizon work out there and T-Mobile, all places T-Mobile work.
Well,
AT&T
I'm not sure now. I'm not sure about the deep country now.
Yeah.
I can only speak about right there on Garnisford Road extending into Hopkins.
Okay.
That's as far as I can speak. I don't know. But as far as the kids in our area, they are able to get the hotspot, and that is enough for them to get the hotspot. So I don't know how they're doing it in the real rural areas. But I want to make a point to Thomas made a good point. A lot of the kids in the lower income areas, you have to think about the socialization. They miss out on that when they're not in school. They're missing out on the social emotional learning, the one-on-one time. And think about those that are special needs.
Oh yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones that are allotted so much time with an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, a counselor. Think about those that are missing out on the one-on-one sessions with their guidance counselor. Those that need that interaction, that extra guidance. How do they get that? Those are the ones that are really at risk and falling behind, and those that are already on a lower reading level or a math level. Because those special classes, they're getting it as far as the internet, as far as the Zoom or the Teams. But how about those that need the extra one-on-one time outside of the group?
Well, just to copy of what you said, not only that, but what about the socialization with their peers?
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm talking about. The socialization, right?
Now times kids do not know how to socialize as much as we did as we came up when we came up. You know, so they always on their phone. They rather text you than actually call you or talk to you in person. So I think that's hurting a lot of them too.
And I'm gonna tell you something else, and I'm gonna make a quick point. Think about something that we all had in common: sports. Think about those that are being hurt by sports. Think about those seniors the last 2 years that missed out on prom. Think about those that are missing out on these things that we can sit back and laugh at with Thomas, even though he's from another school. We can still sit back and laugh at about those moments. They don't have those memories. Think about the college freshmen. They're starting their college years out on the internet, not in person. So you're missing out on a lot of memories, man, that we sit back as 40-year-olds, as the old heads now, that these kids may not get to sit back and have these podcasts and talk about. Well, they'll talk about it, but it'll be in a different manner.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you sit up here and talk about memories, man. You know, we're supposed to be talking about educational stuff, but you bring up memories. And some of my most funniest memories, the socialization in high school ain't even really had nothing to do with being social. It kind of being bad social. Some of those good, great high school fights, man. I miss that. I know that ain't the right thing to say, but there was some good fights and good altercations you had in high school, man. I hate to say it like that, but damn it, I miss that, man. I miss some of them good old slobber knockers in school.
Hey, that's the only memory you'll have, because you'll never see those good old football gridiron fights and in school now. You know, we didn't come too far for that. Them kids ain't with that.
Oh no. They ain't gonna use their hands anyway.
Oh, they're just gonna use a finger.
Use them in the beginning. That's what I'm about to say. They use their trigger finger. They don't use their hands no more.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, Columbia High was, you know, by the time we graduated, it was, you know, a little bit tougher than it was before we went in there. But you know, it's a suburban school, I guess, you know, you can say. But we had some interesting, you know, dealings going on in high school, man, when it comes to fights and stuff like that. And just the fun stuff that happened in school, man, because I vividly remember when we were freshmen, when me and James were freshmen, we used to have one long lunch. You know, we had, it was what I think it was like 6-7 periods, and we had one long lunch where everybody in the school was at lunch at the same time. And I vividly remember the day they stopped that shit. We had like 6 fights break out in lunch.
It was like a melee.
Hey, that was my freshman year. You were a sophomore.
No, that happened my freshman year. I know exactly what you talking about. You talking about your freshman year, we had went to block scheduling. We went to AB scheduling.
Yeah.
But we had one lunch. We had one lunch then.
Yeah, but I remember the day you talking about. I remember the day you talking about when all them fights went on. But our freshman year, we had the one long lunch, and then the very next week they separated it into 2 lunches. After them fights, man, we had like 4 or 5. We had 6 fights during a 45-minute period right there at lunch, man. It was. Now that we look back on it, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
But the good thing about it is like when those people, when they did have those altercations, ain't nobody go back, come home, come to school the next day and try to shoot somebody or nothing like that. No. You know, everything was still good. Most of the time, people squashed it and even became friends or something like that. So,
you know, but I
don't say all the time.
That is true, you know, because I guess if you got into a fight, man, you kind of earn the respect of the person you was fighting, or maybe you just didn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe you didn't earn the respect, but it was over. It was usually over. It was usually over after the fight. But I don't know. It's funny, man. You talk, because I think dealing with my son, and he's in middle school. And well, he's in 6th grade, but last year he was in elementary school. But they don't seem to have fights like that. Maybe because I'm too far out in the suburbs. Maybe because I done got a little bit of money and I moved too far out. But it's like, man, they get in trouble for kind of raising their voice, man. You know what I'm saying? They talk too loud. You know what I'm saying? That's straight to the office. You know, they nip that in the bud quick.
And it's different now. I mean, I know here, the thing is, kids get in the fight now, both of them get suspended. You know, it used to be, it wasn't like that. You know, that's the thing. Like, somebody can hit your son, he ain't did nothing wrong, but when he hit them back, he's getting suspended as well. So,
sure.
I've been in the office arguing that rule. And I remember I was at middle school, my daughter's in middle school then. They showed on tape the little girl she hit my daughter. Now, my daughter went off after she hit her. And I told the principal, my baby's not a punching bag. She's not a punch. Nah, she's taught. You avoid any situation you can. Now, once they lay their hands on you, you got permission. And your daddy gonna come there and say, I gave you permission. And that's just what happened. But it's different now. And then you got to think these kids, back when we were in school, they didn't have phones, everybody recording us. Now, you get beat up, it's recorded. It's recorded. It's on Instagram. It's on Snapchat. Yeah, it's on everything. That's why they're coming back, because they're embarrassed. They got the pressure of social media. They got to prove they're tough.
Yeah, it's funny, man. You know, I laugh and I say, man, y'all kids got it easy now, but I guess it's harder in certain ways. You know, it's more pressure, and like you say about this social media stuff, we ain't have to worry about, man. You know. Now you might have got beat up and people talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have talked about it for the next week or so. But the next person who got slapped around, you was off the radar then.
Yep. But you gotta think now, you get beat up now, all the schools in your district, everybody know about it because it's on social media. Everybody
not just the schools, it's everybody in the whole state.
Boy, it's gonna be on World Star. Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. Before you get your suspension letter, they already know, boy.
Oh Lord, that's crazy.
But you speak of that though, Sly. And we have that, like you said, at Columbia High, we wasn't like some of the other schools, but what was some of the funnier things you have seen fight-wise in high school?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. The funniest thing I ever seen, it wasn't even a prolonged fight. It was.
Oh, I know. You took mine. I bet.
I already know what you're talking. You probably think about the same thing I'm talking about.
It was when James Washington slapped the hell out of some boy. I don't even remember the dude's name, but I remember
Scott.
Now, and here go the thing about James. But for the people who don't know, James was the quietest guy in the world. He was one of them dudes who was just. He was too serious for his age. He wasn't no
militant. He was militant. He was
it wasn't no fun and games with James. He wasn't playing around, joking, nothing like that. He was just deliberate in everything he did. Nicest fella in the world. He ain't never caused no problem. But I don't know what the hell Doug said to this boy. But James stood up and he was like, oh, he ain't even yell at Doug. He just said something in a calm voice. I was on the other side of the cafeteria because I didn't even hear what he said. And he just cocked his hand back like he was a 1976 Cadillac driving pimp. And you heard that shit sound off through the whole cafeteria.
Like James on Good Time.
Man, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one too, Sly. James was already military, like when he was in middle school. He was straight ahead. He knew he was military. He wasn't cutting no corners. Don't play with him. It was going to be a problem. But I'm going to tell you one, Sly. And like you said, it wasn't prolonged. It happened, boom, boom. It was over. And I love this person. And she like a cousin to me.
Oh, I already know.
When Siobhan hit Veronica one time, going to the pet rally, dog, that changed my whole mind about Siobhan. I was like, I'm not playing with her. I'm not ever going to cross her the wrong way. She hit her dog, and it was over.
That was a one-hitter quitter.
Over.
That hurt me because Veronica was from my neighborhood. She let my neighborhood down on that one, dog.
Listen, you gotta run to the hood. It wasn't her fault. It was not her fault. Siobhan was 6'2", built like Thomas Niles. That girl didn't have a chance. She could have been one of them tight ends that stepped down and sealed the end of the line of scrimmage, man.
Yeah, lock it down.
What? Boy, she hit it and everybody just walked past her going to the football pep rally, man.
Just stepped over.
No, that was wrong, dog. I felt bad, but I ain't say nothing, dog. I mind my business.
She had to eat that L.
Boy, that was, we still talking about that over 23 years ago.
Lord.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Jay?
Only one I can't remember the people's name. My memory ain't as well as y'all's, but it was the light-skinned girl. She was a pretty girl. She was older than us. I think she was a year ahead of us, Sly. And she used to have she used to wear all the jewelry and stuff.
Kelly Griffin.
Yeah.
She got beat up by the McDuffies.
Yes. I remember all her jewelry just flying all over the place.
Boy, they beat that girl. Man, that was wrong.
They stopped her, man. That was a family you ain't mess with, man.
Let me tell you, man, them McDuffie girls, it was Chelsea, Frankie,
Tamara, Shanique.
All them right there from Roosevelt Village, man. Them McDuffie girls, man, every day going to the bus stop, boy. It was known. Me and Chelsea would get into it all the time. I get into it with Chelsea. I had to deal with 5 McDuffie sisters every goddamn morning.
They're like the damn Mexicans. They come out of everywhere.
Every time I turn around, it's another damn McDuffie.
And that wasn't all of them, dog. That was just a few.
Man.
They live in the quarter ball.
Yeah, it was like it's a million damn quarter ball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I forgot all about that Kelly and what you call it fight. Yeah.
The girl fight always seemed to be the best one.
She was too pretty to take that L.
Boy, she took it.
God, she ate that one.
I'm gonna tell you another one. When I wasn't in high school yet, I was in middle school when I saw two big gorillas fighting. Looked like Lavelle Crawford and Mr. Brown was out there scrapping. One of them is on podcast now, still looking like Lavelle Crawford.
Hey.
Him and Nigel O'Ree, James, when they was out there.
I remember that.
Out down there practicing. Niles, you know, we came from a baseball town over there, Niles. I'm trying to get my baseball on. I hear two big gorillas over there.
Hey man,
hey, on top of them, pummeling on. I was like, oh Lord.
Hey, look, I had to show. Hey, I had to show when Nigel was about 2 years older than us.
Yeah, they was like, no, they was seniors, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's 2 years. No.
He was a junior when we.
He was a junior then. Yeah, I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade.
He thought he was gonna come down and run something. I had to let him know, man. I'm Roseville Village. I'm from Broad River. I'm in Broad River Terry, man. We don't play that on my Riverview Terry. We don't play that on my side of town. I had to scoop old boy up and show him how I was raised. show him them fights with the McDuffie girls was working.
Hey, it was two big gorillas. Now you should have seen. All you heard was. I was like, man.
Hey,
but I know. Hey, being up from over there on that North Main side of town, boy. If you weren't willing to stop a joker from getting on your neck, now, they was on you every day, ain't it?
Bruh, hey, that solidified my rep. That right there solidified it. Hey, I was solid after that. Hey, right there. They said, oh man, you did that to Nigel. And you know what was hilarious? Y'all remember Coach Pringle, right? Coach Pringle was the dean of discipline at that time. Pringle left before you came, LeBron.
I know Pringle.
Yeah,
I know Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey Pringle. Well, he called us into the office the next day. He called us into the office, and Shauna Cobb and Vanessa Gordon was in the office. Shauna, Vanessa, and I think April Kelly was all in the office at that time. All right. And so he called me and Nigel into the office, and Nigel come up there, you know, and Pringle was like, man, y'all about to be teammates, and y'all out here fighting like that. Y'all out here fighting on the ground, looking all silly. And Nigel said, well, you know, he was running his mouth, and I had to teach him a lesson. And y'all know how cool Pringle is. Pringle was like, man, look at your head. You ain't teach nobody no lesson. I heard that's why you got that big ass knot on your head right there. I walked out that office feeling about 20 feet tall, dog. I was about 20 feet tall walking out that office. Oh, them was good old days, man. Good. What y'all did over there at Eau Claire, man?
Well, you know, we're all about education, so.
Oh, Lord.
We had a bunch of AAP and honor roll students, man.
Educating yourself. What kind of education you talking about? Because there wasn't no books. We don't know what books over there.
It was all AAP honor roll, man. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Niles. Hey, Niles. Now, you know I'm from right over there off of North Main with you now. We grew up over there at Hyde Park together now. Boy, I can't let that slide. I can't let that one slide.
That's all what happened over there was fights. That's it. It's fights. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, you name it. Walking home, you gonna get it again after that? Yep. Meet at Dr. Tire across the street.
Dr. Tire.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Niles, you joking. My little cousins behind, much younger than us, about 10 years behind us. They was at Eau Claire. They was living over there in Burnswood off of Lakeside. So I had came home from Greenville one Friday. I said, man, I'm gonna go scoop them little jokers up, man, see what they up to. Man, I went up there, man, a joker was getting beat up in the bay in Dr. Time, man. I'm talking about he trying to run, they beating him in the bay. I said, boy, you better get out of there, boy. Boy, he couldn't get out of there now.
Dr. Time was the spot. That was the spot to fight at.
And what was the little eating spot right next to Dr.
Right
Time?
there to it.
Yeah, right there. The little
The little orange
Shamrock.
building.
The Shamrock.
place. Yep, the Shamrock. That was the name
Yeah.
of it.
Shamrock.
Right
Well,
there.
you get
Yep.
hey, you get caught over there and you in the wrong place. Well,
Yep.
you'll be lucky if you ain't get beat
The
into
whole
a
school.
car.
The whole
Yeah.
school came over there. Yep.
I'm telling you.
Somebody call a bomb threat. They empty the school. Fight at Dr. Talia. Fight at the Shamrock. Every time. Every time.
Eau Claire High School, man. I used to love going over there, man. You know, it's funny, go over there and play in the old rock pit. You know, I guess they built the new gym over there, man. You go in there and Glimper had the heat turned up to like 130 degrees inside the gym.
It be on hell. Him
And,
and Keenan.
and then you come back out there after the game, fucked up thing, get Eau Claire kick your ass in the game. Then they will kick your ass leaving the gym. This is a motherfucking bitch. I got to fight to get to my goddamn car.
Hey boy, ain't nothing like
Dirty
playing in that
Joker.
rock pit and that flow be slippery than a mug, boy. You trying to go up, man? They did that on purpose, man. They had sprinklers in the gym, man. They know if we did beat them over there, man, they know it's gonna be hell running across that slippery flow. They gonna catch a couple of. They gonna catch a couple of.
Yep.
Man, it's funny. And now sitting up here talking about Eau Claire full of college prep students and all, man. But it's crazy sitting up here talking about college prep, man, and how you prepare yourself in the future, man. Because like now, you got a daughter what who just started college, I think.
She actually has a year left. Well, she's going to school for nursing. She's at state for nursing, so she's gonna have to transfer eventually to finish. But I got a son who just graduated in December.
And see, that's kind of strange because James, your daughter about to get ready to make that path to college, or to the workforce. And man, you know, a lot of things you kind of wonder about is, do you need to go to college, or you know, or should you enter the workforce or something like that, man? It's interesting because we got a diverse panel right here today, because both of you guys are firefighters, and you know, I don't think, prove me if I'm wrong, I don't know, do you need a degree to be a firefighter? I don't think you do. And LeBron, you a teacher, you know, so you need a degree to be a teacher. Hey, let me like this.
They say you do.
I hope
they say you do.
I hope you got one. And me, you know, I got a degree in history, and I've never used my degree in my field. So, you know, how y'all feel about that? You know, going to college. Do you need to go to college?
I think you need to go if you go for the right thing.
Okay.
And that's the hard decision. Like my son graduated. He's going he just got hired at an elementary school. He wants to be a teacher. My daughter wants to be a nurse. But I even told my son, I was like, man, when you graduate in December, go ahead and get your master's. The reason being, I say, you want to make some money, you get your master's. He didn't want to. He want to make money now. But I was like, don't be 35 and 40 saying, man, I wish I went back. Well, let me go back to school to get my master's. Now you got kids. When you could have went right now. But just like you said, I tried tech twice. I knew it wasn't for me. You know, so I tell everybody, man, if you don't go to school for the right thing, get a trade. Learn the trade.
Yes. Yeah.
As long as you learn the trade, you always make money. Yeah. Always.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you, Niles. If you're going for the right things, yes. But as an educator myself, I would say even if you do go to college and you graduate, get your master's, I would still learn some kind of trade.
Yep.
Something. Because you never know. Like today, they might tell me your position has been cut since you're not directly in the classroom anymore. Then what? Now that degree really don't help me. You see what I'm saying? So, but if I had a trade, I could go and say, okay, I'll do X, Y, or Z until something comes open or things get back to quote unquote normal. So I would definitely say learn a trade, something outside of the skill that you are is going to be your main bread winner. Learn something outside of that, whether it's welding, being a barber, cosmetology, whatever it is, learn a trade. And I strongly believe
it's always gonna be needed.
It's gonna always be needed. Skill is always needed.
You know, it's interesting you bring up the whole trade aspect, man, because I think when I was, I think back when I was in college, man, we had a little Cuban guy. He was our kicker. His name was Manny. He was from Miami. He at where I guess the school district in Miami, his senior year, he got his he was a licensed barber. He got his barber license. And so when we was freshmen on campus and all, this mug, would cut people hair, $7. You get your nice fresh haircut for $7 in the dorm room. And he had, this dude was booked all week, just cutting hair. And he constantly had money in his pocket because he had, because he had that trade. He had that skill, man. It's like, wow, that's some forward thinking for you, man. Yeah. To have that. And
I hate, we all from Richland School District 1 here in Columbia, South Carolina. I hate that I didn't take advantage of Lynn Hayward.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that I did. Yep. And my daddy used to always say that, because my dad is skilled like you, James, building stuff and doing that. And I was like, man, I ain't doing that, man. Back then, I'm thinking I'm going to NBA, I'm going to NFL, MLB, whatever. And you don't think outside the box. But I made sure that my dad is up in age now, and I have a son that's 4. As much as possible, I have my son around my dad when he's building stuff, when he's doing this and doing that, just so something can catch his interest with that trade, man. Because now they have in these school districts, they have all kind of stuff. You can have, like you were saying, you can be certified with mechanic, auto mechanics now at these schools with these innovative centers that they have. So these kids have no reason not to be successful at something. Like you said, Thomas, school is not for everybody. Everybody's not a book person where you're going to be on a roll and making A's and B's and college prep. So those kids, they have no reason not to take advantage of that stuff now.
And you as a parent, you got to know your child to know if they're capable of college versus the workforce. So you as a parent, you got to know your kid. And I mean, I want all of mine to go to school, go to college, but I mean, I got a pretty good idea of who gonna make it, who gonna be the party animal. So, I mean, that's what you got to look forward to, man. So if you can, try to steer them to, like you say, a trade or something like that, that will help them out.
But you know what, though, you did, I saw something on Facebook, man. You did something that I like, James. Maybe your wife did it because she's smarter than you.
No, we both did. Thank you very much.
You brought your daughter, you put in the garage, one of them.
Yeah, we got her, she loves to braid.
Yeah.
So we ended up turning one of our little office in the house. We gave it to her for like her little braiding studio. So we bought her the little chair, got her all the extra all the stuff she needs for it. So so I mean, that's giving her something, and she make her own little money on the side, so that gives her something to do.
Yeah,
something she loved to do.
See, I like that, and like you were saying, know your kid. You know what I'm saying? Know what your kid can do, and encourage your kid to make that money or make their mark, in other ways, But one thing about college, though, that I think every kid should attempt college, and the reason I say that is because of what you learn outside of the classroom in college. The socialization, being on your own a little bit, staying in that dorm room, some of the lifelong friends you're gonna make. Because I look back to my time in college, that I started off at Eastern Kentucky playing football, and I ended up finishing up at University of South Carolina. But I look at the experience I got from college. I can barely tell you some of the stuff I learned in class, but the experiences that I got in college, man, that's something you can't really trade in. you know, and I think that's a huge reason to go to college.
Quiet as I ever heard him.
Wi-Fi.
Say what? Oh, did I go out?
Yeah, you went out.
Oh man, oh no, all that talking I did, and I done went out, man.
Yeah, you're hot. You're a bag of hot air anyway. So.
But no, but what I was saying was the experiences I got in college, man. Going to college and the socialization, seeing new people, seeing people from all over. You know, I started college at Eastern Kentucky, and then I finished up at the University of South Carolina. And, you know, so me going to Eastern Kentucky, coming from a predominantly Black area and going out into the middle of the white folk, you know what I'm saying? Just out there with nothing but white folk and just seeing different people from all over, man. I think college and the military.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say my journey was a little bit different because when I graduated, I went into the military. So I got some of those same things you were talking about, but I also got to travel. And I've probably been some places that most people may never go in their life, you know? So I think either or is depending on who you are. I mean, I always wish I would have went to school, but I know myself. So I know I probably wouldn't have made it. I can tell you that now, I wouldn't have made it. So I think I ended up taking the right path, and I'm happy for it.
Okay. That's real interesting, man. That is real interesting. You know, and we kind of revert back to Niles, man. You know how your children have specialized paths. You know, to be a nurse, yeah, you got to take your ass to college. You better go to college. To be a teacher, you better go to college. But you brought up something earlier about your son graduating in December. This is something I wish that more Black folk would do, is take that year after you graduate college, or I wouldn't say high school, I would say college, to go and find yourself, to go to Europe, you know what I'm saying, backpack in Europe, some stuff like that. When my younger sister, she graduated from college, she didn't jump straight into the workforce. You know, she went and she lived with me and my ex-wife guest bedroom. She lived in my aunt guest bedroom while she was just finding herself and not necessarily jumping straight into the first job that was offered to her. She had, my little sister, I guess she had the luxury of turning down a couple of job offers because they didn't pay what she thought she was worth. And so I really think, man, you know, a lot of people, if it's possible, because, you know, some stuff it just ain't possible for everybody. But if it's possible, before you jump into that workforce, man, go out and find yourself a little bit. Coach Mack said something, our high school coach, Coach Mack said something that stuck with me for the rest of my life. I wanted to get a summer job so I could make a little bit of money, you know, put some 15-inch speakers in my Escort. You know, I wanted to get a summer job. And Coach Mack said, he said, look, man, you got the rest of your life to work. And you gonna work the rest of your life. You only gonna be this teenager and you only gonna be young once. So try to enjoy it. Yeah, and that just it ain't make no sense then, but it make a hell of a lot of sense now. Make a whole lot of sense now, man. You know, fellas, man, we getting close to the edge, man. We getting close to this time limit, man. I think we had a little bit of fun here today, talking and shooting the shit with some fellas, man. Some high school memories, talking about our kids and this virtual learning, and hopefully somebody who listened to this podcast, man, might take a little bit of advice that we gave out, and maybe they can use that and help raising their kids, man. Beezy, man, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
Man, only thing I'm gonna say is, Thomas Niles, it was great seeing you, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. Long-time friend, been knowing you a while, man. And y'all fellas stay safe. Thank you for everything that y'all do. Keep it up and keep my Uncle Curtis Payne over there in line at the firehouse for me, bub.
What about you? What about you, Mr. Ashman?
Yeah, man, I'd like to also congratulate and thank Mr. Chief Niles. You know, I know he over there give his wife a hard time too. He make her call him Chief too. But I like to thank him, and hey man, God bless everybody, man.
Yes, sir.
And check this out, man. Our special guest, Chief Thomas Niles, President, founder, CEO of Carolina Pressure and Soft Washing, man. Go and check out his Facebook page, man. It's, let me share it, put it on the screen for you. Carolina Pressure and Soft Washing LLC. You can check that out, man. He do it all, man. Look at the picture right there of all this, how he clean the houses. I seen what you clean, sidewalks, driveways. Look at that. You got apartment buildings.
Yep, we do it all. We got some apartments to do Friday.
Look here, man.
We do it all.
And that's the one right here, man. All the work and all the good stuff he do. He's the guy, you know, we can ask for some money from if you need some money.
Yeah. Yeah, I guarantee you, if you look at any of them videos, you'll never see him doing no work. He always holding the camera.
Oh,
hey, he the chief, man. He the chief.
Hey, and James, like you said, I got something for you. You said she called me chief, right? One time. Who the chief?
Negative.
She's showing out for the camera. That's all that is. When I hang up, she called me chief. Say chief.
James, you know better.
Oh yeah.
Hey Thomas, that chair gonna look very comfortable tonight. Now that chair better be comfortable tonight. Now you
I better be quiet.
You better hush. You better hush, man.
There you go. Say she go hit you in the head with the pillow and the blanket and say, "Don't come on in the room."
That's it. You see him walking away.
Oh man. Before we get out of here, man, we want to make sure everybody knows you can follow us, man, a bunch of different places. We're all over. Man, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Google, YouTube, Anchor, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, man. Matter of fact, if you just go to Google and type in RIP 28 podcast, man, you're gonna pull us up. You're gonna pull us up, and make sure you not only listen to the show, we need you to subscribe. Subscribe to the show, man. Get these numbers up, man. This is the RIP 28 podcast, man. The RIP 28 podcast. We are a podcast where a few friends can get together and we can talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we're going to keep on talking about it on the RIP 28 podcast. Man, y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all next week.
Share that thing too. Tell all your friends about us, man. Even if you're a Shamrock, tell them. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you into me, hope you understand I am not your enemy, nor will I pretend to be. I got these styles like Austin, so all I can see is a bunch of enemies. These people is killing me, really though, y'all some lame actors. On a ball and chain playing.